Welcome to the Always Better Than Yesterday YouTube channel. I am your host, Ryan Hartley. This channel is for heart-centered leaders just like you. I hope our time spent together helps you leave a heartprint where those around you are left better than yesterday. These interview sessions are sponsored by our great friends at Elevate Online Marketing. On episode 173, I am joined by Miss Manifesther, also known as our great friend Esther McCann. Esther joined the show back in 2018 on episode 26. Since then, she's gone on to build an incredible coaching business and a YouTube channel with over 17,000 subscribers and 1.6 million views. Esther is a manifestation coach, a spiritual mentor and public speaker. She works with entrepreneurs, freelancers and creatives to manifest their success, love lives and fulfillment by teaching them the law of attraction. Esther discovered that she has a natural gift for manifestation following her difficult divorce in 2017, and she's rapidly gained authority in the manifestation space and has been approached by The Secret to endorse their latest release. Esther is going to be one of our guest speakers at our 5-year celebration event in June, so make sure you get your tickets and come and see her speak live. The link to get your tickets are in the show notes. Here we go, episode 173 with our great friend Esther McCann. Esther McCann, welcome back to the podcast. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Ryan, how are you?
Very good. You were episode 26. It has been what, maybe 3.5 years? Like, very good friend of mine, very good friend of the community. Great to have you back. And one of the things that I've always loved about you over the last couple of years is that whenever you've booked in for a chat, you've always given some variation of your name, like Esther the Legend, Esther the Last Samurai. Who is Esther today?
Oh man, who am I today? Esther the Peaceful, which is totally different vibe to what I normally.
Yeah, is that something you have to? Is that because sometimes my spirit wants to go quicker than what's right for now, and is that something you have to really embrace, that slower side of life?
I think over the last few years, especially growing a business and doing what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Something that I always say to people is that when you start living your purpose, you can forget about other things that you enjoy doing and other things that you love and things that put you in that place of peace and least resistance and love and all the other great feelings. So whether things get funky in your business or you start to get overwhelmed thinking, oh, there's so much to do or whatever, the desire is to fix everything around your business or your purpose or whatever way that you want to look at that. And then you're like, oh, then I'll feel better because this is the thing that consumes me most of the time.
Yeah.
And actually the best way to energetically create momentum or to create solutions and ease is to just get off topic and go and do something else. And yeah, I just noticed recently, I was like, yeah, I think I've reached a place where that really needs to kick up a notch, and it hasn't been that level of balance hasn't been at the forefront.
Yeah, I love that. Like last year, I was taking daytime baths.
Oh, I love daytime baths. I love a daytime bath.
That's how I knew I got to a level of acceptance. What my spirit needed. It was like Lisa would look at me. She goes like, "You doing? You've been in here a while." I'm like, "Yep." Just creating a life on my terms. Honestly, I say that I got this for broke, but I went onto Amazon. I got a nice like flashing unicorn plug as well that would just keep me company. Setting a right image now, aren't I? Should we move on?
Yes. No, I agree with you though. Like it's, especially if you are in that place where you're saying, well, I want to create my best life. Like, what does that look like? And it is daytime baths and going on walks or just saying, I'm just going to read a book now, like, and just doing those things throughout the day and not just either like scraping it in at the end of the day where you're like, I must do that. Otherwise I haven't had that piece. For me, it's so much more powerful, I think, to integrate it through instead of it being like that's the bottom of your list.
Yeah, I mean, since we last spoke, obviously you've gone full time with your business. You've evolved your own offers and your services and your own skill set, education in there. You've done a couple of events and some retreats. Like, you've done some amazing things, all while the UK has been put in a number of lockdowns, and obviously your daughter as well. And just love the way that I've been able to observe you from afar, kind of leading a life. It's all of it, isn't it? It's life, it's work and purpose and being a mom. Like, hats off to you, my friend. How's that been?
I don't think there's definitely been moments where I've found it really challenging. Particularly, we've isolated twice. Oh, there's a heron outside. Oh my God. Like, I love that. So a heron means be patient.
Good.
So I love that. No, I've never seen a heron like outside my house before. I don't know why it's there, because there's no ponds around here. I'll be looking a while for any decent food. I think the isolation things have been really, really testing for me. And I had one last month, and I felt like I handled it in my stride. The first one, I felt very alone. Sure. I felt very, very, very lonely. And it threw out my routine ahead of the summer holidays, which, your routine gets messed up in, kids, summer holidays and things anyway, and you have to adapt. But this one, I didn't feel so bad, but I still came away. Maybe it was the week after, feeling like I had so much to do to catch up on, because we'd had half term and the isolation. And then I just had that thing, I was like, but this is all my deadlines. Like, this is all self-imposed by me. So what, you don't have to play catch up. Obviously I got to that place pretty much after I'd done all the work. I caught up, and then I was like, I don't want to do this again.
I don't need to do that. Yeah. Why did I cause myself such pain? Yeah.
There were some elements where, like, there was maybe about four, actually it's probably more than that, maybe like 6 videos that I'd said that I wanted to get done, and I just said, no, I don't need to do that right now. That can just stop. But overall, I don't feel that the pandemic has stopped me living or loving or, just growing and doing things my way. And I always said that it was just an opportunity for us to learn, grow, and adapt. And I'm not diminishing it as it was, it's created collective, trauma and things across the board. So I'm absolutely not diminishing that. But for me, it was I'm going to just rise to this as a challenge, and I'm just going to keep living and redefine what living means in a pandemic.
Yeah. Hey, my friends, thank you for being with us so far. I really hope that you're enjoying the conversation. I wanted to take a quick moment to let you know that our brand new website is live. Please do visit abty.co.uk. I hope that it enables you to connect with us at a heart level and to explore our heart work and how we may serve you, your team, and your organization that little bit better through our coaching, our consulting, and our speaking. It also gives you the opportunity to come and join one of our greenhouses and see some examples of our heart print. It's abty.co.uk. Other great things on there, some free resources. There are access to your life languages profile that you can take for free, as well as our merchandise store. abty.co.uk. And here we go. Back to the conversation. Powerful. And I think one of the things I've been sharing with kind of corporates and leadership is that, you don't invest in leadership during the problem. Like, you have to invest in that sort of stuff so that you can use it, in advance. The second best time to invest in leadership is now. But and that's it. I think, you were able to demonstrate that living of everything that you speak of, everything that you teach. You left a job during a pandemic, and you're still maintaining consistency with your very, very good YouTube channel and the growth that you're still getting, the quality of the content that you're putting out. I know that's important to you, and you've maintained it all. It's been amazing to watch.
Thank you. Oh, I feel like I'm receiving an award and a bunch of
yeah. Well, let's hear your
I
speech
really,
then.
really appreciate you saying that, because it's nice to just,
Oh.
sometimes you don't observe that in yourself. And it's, I can't remember who told me this. It might have been you, who knows? And I can't even remember what the quote is, but it's that other people observe your successes or your growth before you observe it in yourself.
That's too
And
big for me. I certainly didn't say that.
Oh, right. And I can't even give you the full quote, but that's the essence of it.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's true. Like, I see people just blossoming and shining, and I'm making it a bit of a thing at the moment. Like, if I see somebody glowing and just stepping into their power, I'm just dropping them a message and I'm being like, I see you, boo.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee it, like, they probably haven't noticed that they've stepped their pussy up, as it were, as RuPaul would say. Like, they probably haven't noticed that. So I'm like, they need to hear it, because otherwise it's so easy. I don't think we should thrive off validation. I think the biggest lesson is to be able to feel like you're good enough and doing a damn good job.
Sure.
And that's what I work with my clients on. But it costs me nothing. It costs us nothing to shine lights on other people and throw compliments their way.
Well, you'll know recently I had Bruce Lipton on, and the work of the likes of him and Joe Dispenza and David Hawkins, like this element of consciousness, when we show high vibe appreciation and gratitude for other people, it raises their vibe too. So
absolutely,
I get what you mean about not requiring it, not needing it for validation, but there's definitely a ripple effect of energy that gets transferred. And I guess that ties in nicely to one of the things that Bruce talks about, is that, about reprogramming, how everything in our subconscious is put there by the age of 7. And there are 2 ways to overcome our programming, one of which you do a lot of, which we'll talk about, and the other one being build better habits and repetition. You talk a lot about reprogramming, and I'd love to know some of the things that you do to help people with reprogramming.
I'd say now we're talking about it, I'm going to say I've got 3 things that are my main up my sleeve go-tos for that kind of thing. On YouTube, I started doing subliminals, and that went really well. I wasn't really expecting that to kind of be as popular as it is, but it's actually a really great community, and they're really really supportive, just a really lovely community of people. So subliminals, if people don't know what that is, because I will explain, is often people think they're going to hear the affirmation spoken out loud, but what it does is just it's played at a audio level that's only I can't think what the word is, perceivable by the subconscious mind, rather than it playing and the conscious picking it up and going, well, this is a load of old. So basically you bypass that and go straight to the source. And if you use them regularly enough, you can get results from one listen. I've had amazing things happen after listening to subliminals like one time, which just still blows my mind. But you use them regularly. I think it's really important, especially before you go to sleep. What are you going to put in your brain? And it's to me, I'm like, that's a no-brainer. Why would I not put something on to sleep to that's going to benefit me? So I use that on YouTube and with clients as well, to create them things that are very specific to their programming and levels of resistance. I do EFT tapping, which is about, again, is letting the subconscious, the fight or flight, the amygdala, that primitive part of your brain, know that it's actually safe to face this, to address this, to calm down your nervous system to a baseline where you can then actually work with the problem. And then extended from that, I use reality hacking, which is something I trained with, not in America. I didn't go to America for it, but I had to stay up very, very, very late to complete that. Oh, it killed me. But, that's an extension of EFT and working with those inner children who have experienced trauma to change their beliefs and decisions about themselves. So I feel like I've got like a bit of a plethora of things that I go to. And, it's not for everybody, because I've got clients who they're on a spectrum of aphantasia, which is where people can't visualize. So sometimes asking people to meditate, to visualize, to connect, you know, and that they don't see images in that same way. So, you know, sometimes we just use tapping. It's not for everybody. And that's the great thing, is I think having a selection of things you can go to that support different people.
I love that. EFT is it emotional freedom?
Emotional freedom technique. Yes.
It's powerful, isn't it? You know, and I think the word associated with law of attraction is often woo woo, and I think the great thing about the era that we live in now is that there's so much more science that is revealed about the nature of spirit. And you know, Bruce obviously talks about the flaws in the world's seeing science through Newtonian physics, and that doesn't account for energy and spirit. And I think we're being blessed with a lot of research that's revealing the power of the heart. You know, eight times magnetic field bigger than the mind, and it's incredible stuff. And what's your take on what it means to be in the world of law of attraction?
I think it's changed massively since when I first got into law of attraction. It was just the whole kind of just think happy thoughts and your life will be happy. And it's kind of like just it. I get that, like I do get that, but it's just that's a kind of very surface level way of looking at it. And actually, it's about what goes on behind those thoughts, so that you can get to that place where that is actually natural, and that is your natural energetic state of being, by releasing all the stuff, all, like you say, as Bruce Lipton said, all that baggage, all that programming that's not serving you before the age of 7, is getting rid of that, so that actually your natural state is feeling worthy, and it is feeling confident and capable, and that you belong, and that you have a place in this world, and that you have something to contribute, and that you are limitless and you can create whatever you want. So yeah, like it's all changed for me, really, because certainly when I got into it, it was very much just pivot away from any negative thoughts. Don't give that any time of day. And now it's more of a, like, sometimes those negative thoughts come in and I'm like, that's just bollocks, and it's not, we don't need to give that attention. And then other times you go, okay, that's a pattern, and that's repeating in my life, and I need to, you know, actually be willing to observe, you know, my triggers and things that come up for me with love, so that I can, you know, transmute them and dissolve them and change them into something else. So for me, law of attraction is just one component of manifestation. I think, you know, there's the whole thing of law of assumption. So what you assume to be true is what you attract. I think it's the law of attraction is just one wheel in the system.
You've got into sharing poems quite a bit recently.
2 poems, Ryan. 2.
All right, okay, cool. There's a pattern emerging. You've shared 2. And obviously, I'm not going to draw upon the "I don't have a penis" one that you shared yesterday.
Why not? That was great.
In the one that you talk about, in my cocoon, you know, the one I'm on about, starting at the very end, you use these 3 words: embrace your deconstruction.
Yes. I'm going to have to go get the poem up now, because I'm going like, what have I said?
It's on this one.
I know where it is. That's a fairly old picture when I was like, it's not that old.
Yeah, it's decent.
Yeah, got an afro in that picture. She was like, should we do you an afro? I was like, would I let someone do that to me again? No. Yeah, so I'm guessing you want to ask me what embrace your deconstruction is.
Yeah, because I think, you know, I think people understand on the surface level that we're all a work in progress, but I think there's something coming out more and more often that we have to unlearn so much of the way that the world has had us. You know, the purpose of the world, a lot of it is to be commercial and to attack our lack and to leave us feel inadequate. And so much of our life is about unlearning. And I'd love to know what kind of embracing your deconstruction, or maybe the people that you work with, you know, what does that really entail? I
think for me, deconstruction is just you've come to earth, you're in a human body, and you've built yourself this, you could even call it a prison, like you could call it a house, but you could call it a prison. You've built your own limitations through your mind. Not saying, you know, it's all our fault, because it gets imposed on us by other people, but it's really about saying, like, I'm willing to observe that, and to just strip it all back, and to just go back to the drawing board. And that can feel very scary. I think deconstruction is that, it's that thing of building something, breaking something down to build something new. And it's the same, you know, image of the phoenix, you know, self combusts into ash, knowing that it will rise again. And I think that's very scary to say. I'm willing to lay myself bare on the line, to really, you know, find my divine essence again, and the truth of who I am. And for me, it's about working with people who are really ready to do that.
Yeah. You know, and I think, you know, at the heart of it is an abundant state of existence, isn't it? It's knowing that I have all that I need, and I lack nothing. And that takes a fair amount of self-love, self-care to be able to get to that state. And I know that you're in a season of play. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm calling it my it's based on like the Neville Goddard, it's a physics principle, the principle of least action, but he talks about it in conjunction with the law of assumption, that if you assume that your manifestation is on its way, if you assume that your, you know, reality and what you want is set, like, why are you burning yourself out? Why are you not trusting divine timing and components and things lining up for you in a very effortless way? That path of least resistance, why you know, flog it? And I think that's I'm guilty of it. You know, it's that thing of social media tells you, it's like, oh, if you do this is going to help your algorithm, or, you know, if you do this is going to, like, you know, benefit you, and you go, oh, that's okay, I'll give that a go. And it's like, you know, sometimes it is like, you know, a little divine nugget that somebody's dropped you, and other times it's just getting caught up in trying to make something happen and trying to force outcomes. And I just got to this place where I just said, hang on a minute, I'm going to use the words trying too hard, and feeling pressure that I need to do more. It's that pressure of do more, be more. Should do it, got to, all of these kind of things. And I just said, hang on a minute, that's not in alignment with me, it's not in alignment with what I teach, and I just need to just reset. So obviously, as you know, I'm sure you're in the same position, I can't jack it all in. And I have done this before at a stage when I was just working and doing this part-time. I did just jack it all in for a month, and all I did was read the magic, which is all about gratitude, and then I did fitness, and I just had the most insanely awesome month. And then just like blessings, just particularly financial ones, just kept rolling in. It was just like so easy. So for me now, it's that thing of, okay, I'm going to do that again, whilst just doing the minimum, like doing the minimum things for my business, not feeling that I need to create something when it's not ready to be birthed, and we'll go from there, and we'll just see what happens. So it's kind of an experiment. It's just being playful, really.
I like that. And I think, you know, an element of spiritual maturity is being able to take that intellectual feeling of abundance and having all that you need to an 18-inch journey just to our heart, and being able to live with that spirit as if it were true. And it's really, really tricky, you know, and I guess it's trying to walk that paradox between still showing up, you know, law of attraction, manifestation. It requires us to show up and to share the things that we have been given, you know, and so it is trying to navigate the gray, which is that
there's so many spiritual paradoxes. It drives me insane, because the problem is, it's not hard and fast. Like you can't just say show up, show up, show up, because eventually when you're showing up to the point where you're pushing, like so with everything, I try to bring it back to how you feel in yourself and the energy. And it's like, does this feel good? Does this feel like love, like for myself, or love for my, you know, like for what I'm doing? And if you that's your anchor point. You have to, it sounds so cheesy, it is like Pocahontas, listen to your heart. But it is, you know, you have to ask yourself, you know, what's the right thing to do in this situation, because different situations do not always require the same response, you know, emotional response, verbal response. Each situation is different, so you need to just be able to like listen to your internal guidance system as what's the correct thing to do in that moment.
And it's really the paradox as well is that, you know, you need to raise your thoughts and your emotions, you know, at the same time, and that requires a belief that it's, I guess it's already present, it's already happening. So we know that those manifestations will be more, I guess, successful, is that the right word, when we're able to do that. But at the same time, how do we keep off the expectation? It's almost expect great things, but don't be attached to expecting great things. Does that make sense?
It's a fine line between you do want to expect it, because if you expect it, you know that it's on its way. But it's the feeling of, I'm expecting it, but hey, you know, I'm doing good right now, and I don't need this to show up, because when you know it's going to show up but you feel good anyway, you can relax. So what it is really like, it's about finding that detached and relaxed state of I know that this is going to happen, like I just fully believe, but there's nothing more I need to do, right? Not right now. You know, the universe may present you a next stepping stone, and then you go, oh, this is the aligned action to take now. But otherwise, it's being able to, you know, find, you know, your bliss here and now. And if you do that, you are detached.
It's like almost having that heart set of just saying, your will, universe, your will be done. I know that you're going to look after me. I know that whatever is meant for me will not pass, and I will do my best to bring whatever you give me into the world. And there's some such spiritual wisdom. You know, the Julia Donaldson books. She wrote a book called The Squash and the Squeeze. I don't know if you've read it with
I
little
haven't
one.
read that one, no.
Oh, it's so spiritually wise, because there's this little old lady and she's all in a bit of a bother because her little old cottage is just a squash and a squeeze. So she asks for help from this wise old man. What does the wise old man do? He fills her cottage full of farmyard animals. She's like, oh no, it's even worse. She's like, I'm all bothered. Help me. So what does he do? He starts one by one taking the animals out. And what happens? The byproduct is she learns to appreciate all that she already had.
Yeah. And I think the thing that you said about, I can't remember how you phrased it now, but the way I would phrase it is that when you go into proper surrender for your manifestation, and I mean proper surrender. Sometimes you've got to go through, sometimes there's manifestations where you're like, I set that intention, I've got no resistance to it, and I'm so chilled out. The ones where you're attached, it can feel like you get to a place where you go, Jesus, take the wheel, or sometimes, you know, call it the fuck it method, because you literally go, fuck it, like I can't do anymore. I can't even give this any more of my energy, because it's consuming me. It's stopping me enjoying my life in the present. And that is, again, that's that kind of almost like breakdown, rock bottom, to go, and now I'm going to pivot into something else. But, you know, I've been through that with several manifestations where I'm just like, I obviously had attachment to them. And, you know, and it's almost like for everything that you've got attachment to, you'll probably go through this process. But, you know, I've got tools and things for myself. I've got tools that I use in my clients to help them to get out of that state when they are very attached to an outcome. And it's why I don't work with certain people on particularly just relationships and manifesting love, because the journey to manifesting love is all about your self-love. But like with love, it's a little bit different. Like I can't just ring somebody up and we go, oh, you've been on Tinder today, or have you met anyone yet? You know, it's much with love. I usually find people come and work with me on business, and then they find love as a byproduct of what the energy work that they're doing. So I often like people to have a couple of things that they're playing with, so that there's they're not just focused on one thing. But yeah, if you are content and grateful and satisfied for all you've got now, that's like a energetic sweet spot to be in, because you're not on the lookout for anything, and that's when you receive at your best. You just your cup just keeps getting topped up.
Yeah, and I think it undoes what the world tries to have us believe, which is that we need to do more and have more in order to be more. And I think when you come to the world high vibe, being who you were made to be, all things get added, which is the irony.
Yeah, that is the biggest paradox, is most people get into manifestation and law of attraction because they lack something. Which is, and I'm like, right now I got to my job is to make you go, you lack nothing.
Yeah, 100%. This is amazing. And you know what, in our industry, unfortunately, there are too many practitioners who exploit lack as a way of marketing bro kind of. And I like the way that you show up. I've been a keen observer of the way that you create community, and that it's very, very good. What's the future? I know that you're bringing out a membership for your YouTube channel. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I've done that. And I just want to say as well, by the way, that I have definitely, maybe not in a really icky way, but I have most definitely used, and I would say unconsciously, lack tactics, by 100%. The way. Because it's just you observe how other people sell, and you also you get taught it, by people, and I'm trying to find that way to be like, this may be how you're feeling, but I want you to know you are not unworthy now. It's that fine balance between,
the whole spirit is that you don't need me, but I'd love to help you with whatever it is that you think.
And absolutely. I think that's something that, and I think we do it hopefully by example, but something that needs to be taught more is heart-centered selling. And it's just offering, it's an invitation, isn't it? And
It is 100% an invitation. It is an invitation to the transformations that that you'll facilitate.
Yeah, and I love that. And I never ever on a call have I literally, if people are can't afford things, or if they're it's not for me right now, fine, just great. I
go and watch all my YouTube chat. Go and watch all my YouTube videos for free. All the free good stuff that you put out in the world.
I've had people say they're I'm not in a position right now, and I've said, do you know what I'll do for you? I'm I'll make you a playlist. Nice. And off you go. You've got maybe somebody might go, oh, you're doing yourself out of. I'm like, no, not at all. I'd rather somebody go, she was really helpful in her own way to give me things specific to me. But yeah, so that's just that's a whole other we could probably do a whole podcast on that, couldn't we? Heart-centered selling. But so YouTube membership is really about me being able to just create and give tools to people that just help them to do all of this, like reprogramming, raising your vibration. And I love creating. Creating is just one of my things. It comes through in lots and lots of different ways, but just making lots of phone wallpapers and with affirmations and prompts on them, so you don't just look at your phone and go, oh, there's an affirmation. It asks you a question, and you pick the one that makes you say, that's probably what I need to be focusing on most right now, and do EFTs, subliminals, journal prompts, workbooks. It's all of that. And I have said to the, you know, members, I will do, you know, bonus exclusive lives and stuff for you, but it's a way of me giving things that I know will help transform people.
Yeah. I love that.
And doing their own, well, you know, doing their own inner work.
So you and oh, sorry, Karen.
I was just going to say, when I first got into my YouTube, it was just like giving like manifestation techniques and stuff. People go, oh, it doesn't work. And it's like, okay, well, you know, some of that, comes down, some of that comes down to, I mean, it all comes down to what you believe.
Yeah.
You know, I always say, you know, the classic is ask, believe, receive. But if you believed before you asked,
yes,
you collapse the time between you waiting for your manifestation and receiving it. So
Jesus knew all about the power of belief, because I think he was a great life coach, because he would ask more questions than he'd give answers. But even he knew that he couldn't be a prophet in his own town. You know, they just simply didn't believe that he was capable of the miracles he said he was able to do in his own town, because in their mind he was the carpenter or the carpenter's son. And so what does you? Scripture says that he did few miracles there and he moved on.
Yeah. That's it though. Can you ever control another's perception of you? And I think
no,
you know, not really. Like, so I think that's always been a huge lesson, is that especially in the online space, just give your energy to the people who are perceiving your value and the good and the hard work that you're doing, and you know, that's your community. You're not for everybody. You know, I'm not for everybody.
Or should we be?
Not,
absolutely for some, right? Someone who you absolutely shine bright for is Zara. Zara, a friend of ours in common. She's asked a couple of questions, and she wants to know who and what inspires you and why.
Zara, do you know what, as well? I saw Zara asking these questions, and I was like, you probably read those and get inspired. Who inspires me and why? I don't know. I'm going to be really cheesy, because I try not to put people on a pedestal. I'm going to say I inspire myself, because I know that even though I'm having my playtime, I know that I've shown up so much when I could have just gone, nah. Like, I always give myself credit for the fact that I do show up, that for the actions I take, for the amount that I think I give a lot to people. I really do. And I think I've got a lot of love to give, and I still have got a lot of love to give. So I'm going to say myself, even though times get tough. I think I am my own biggest inspiration.
Perfect answer. You know, and I share that heart. I share that heart. Do you know why? That's why Matthew McConaughey became my hero, or not became my hero, but he gave the words to me as a young man, because it's good, you know. And a friend of ours in common, Jen, she shared something today saying, "I'm proud. Sorry, not sorry." And I was like, if you put your heart and soul into something, and this is the state we're supposed to get into, this state of, you know, 100%. And it's not conditional love. It's not, I will love myself once I am, or once I become. It's I love myself for who got me here, for who I am today, and who will get me there. It's like 3 versions of us. And your answer is just perfect. I love it.
Well, you manifest from your self-concept and what you believe you're worthy of. So I think it is very important to be able to see how far you've come and what you've gone through, grown through.
Flaws and all.
All of it. So I think to be able to just embrace all facets of yourself is very, very powerful.
Are you watching Love is Blind on Netflix at the moment?
No, I don't. There's not many things. I don't watch a lot of telly.
No, I don't blame you. Don't start, because you won't finish. Like Lisa and I had a binge when we were at Seedlings. But you know, I think love and self-love isn't blind. I think it's unconditional. I think it sees all flaws and all and goes, "Oh, bless, I love you anyway."
Yeah, but this is the thing though. I think it's to just sometimes that thing of like, I love myself and I'm my own biggest inspiration. I think it comes with shame. I think that get shamed and they make, oh, she's got her head up her own arse, or like she's boastful, or blindsided to her faults. And I'm not blindsided to my faults whatsoever. Like I'm, more than aware of them and working on them. So but I think that's the thing, is like in society it's very, not taboo, but I would definitely say uncommon. If somebody's like, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm all right. Or, oh no, like, it's never like, I'm fucking great. Like, my friend, like, it's just like, because it makes people uncomfortable. I think we go, oh, our success, our, joy makes other people uncomfortable when they're going through stuff. So better tone it back.
It's really interesting because, as a young man, I'd have got to a point of saying I was my biggest inspiration from a position of lack and a huge need for validation. So I would say it in such a way that I was perceived as arrogant, because who's this kid? Whereas now it's like through absolute humility that knows that I've been given something that isn't for me. It's for other people.
Right.
So I need to inspire myself, because otherwise the world doesn't get what I was supposed to bring it. And I'm not. And I'm not talking about me personally. I don't believe in the called and the uncalled. I believe we're all called to do something. I've just figured out what my contribution is. You figured out what your contribution is. And then it's only right that we inspire ourselves, because we're supposed to bring it, right?
Yeah, totally. We have to know that we've got something to bring, but that we are the person to bring it. Because otherwise you just hold yourself back and like, nobody gets the benefit of what you've been gifted with.
Yep. I know you've got places to be. I know you've got self-care.
A massage, everyone. I'm going for a massage, and then I'm going to come home and I'm going to read a book. You got featured by The Secret, Your Real Deal. Why did they come to you? What does that say about you? Oh my God, that is a story. That was so strange. Do you know what? Whether you believe in it or not, in human design, I'm a projector, and they say the projector has to wait for the invitation. And that can be like, no, I don't want to wait for no invitations. I just want to go out and like, piss on everything and be like, it's mine. And yeah, like this is quite funny actually. I got very drunk, which I've quit alcohol. I got very drunk on a Zoom call with our dear friends Laura and Simona. I woke up the next day feeling like awful, and I'd just got The Greatest Secret delivered, and I was like, I'm going to read some of this. So I took a picture of it with my hot chocolate and mac and cheese and my hangover goodies, and then I got this message on Instagram about a month later, and it was from somebody who had no followers. She had no profile picture, no nothing. And she was following like 7 people, and she said, oh, I'm reaching out from The Secret. We'd love for you to do like a little video review for us. And I, being the suspicious person that I am, was kind of like, is this like some dude who wants to like wank over me like, doing a book? Because hey, they're out there, and there is something for every fetish out there. So I thought this could be it, and but I thought, no, I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say this could be it. And so I went for it, and then like the email came through and it had the logo, and I was trying to like do a bit of like Columbo work to see if it was legit, and I still wasn't sure. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make it anyway. So I made it, I sent it off. I felt pretty confident that it was legit. And about 2-3 months went by, and I messaged and said, oh, did you ever do anything with that? What was so funny was they'd posted it on Twitter, and I'm just not active on Twitter, so I never saw.
Same, yeah.
Never saw, and then they obviously posted it and like tagged me in it on different platform, and I just was like, oh my God, like wow, it was real. And yeah, so that was amazing. And
what did
then
that teach you?
That taught me, and it just really makes me laugh, but just don't judge anybody by an appearance, especially not their social media appearance. Like, do not sit there and go, that's nothing, or that's a nobody because they've got no followers, or it's not real. Like, do pay attention, because it's there's plenty of people out there that are living their best life and they're not using social media.
Yeah, I love that. Esther McCann, thank you so much for your time. And I'll share all your good links in the show notes. Be honoured if you'd leave us a final thought from your good self.
Final thought is just go away like today and say, look at your big to-do list and just say, what can wait? What can wait? And what can you, like, how can you live today? Jack it all off. Just do something else.
Love that. Have a great massage. Have a great rest of your day.
Speak to you later, Ryan. Bye.
Hey, my friends. Thank you for making it to the end of the interview here on YouTube. I hope that our time spent together has left you a little bit better than before you push play. Before you go anywhere, please leave a comment down below. Some of your key reflections, your key takeaways. I love hearing from you and what this conversation has inspired in you. Let me know what you're going to do as a result of this conversation. I will be back next Wednesday where I will share another inspiring guest. To make sure that you don't miss that, please do subscribe, hit the bell, and you will be notified as soon as it goes live. If you're curious to know how I, through Always Better Than Yesterday, can serve you, your team, your organization, please do visit alwaysbetterthanyesterday.com, and it will be my honor and privilege to help you in any way I can. Keep leading, my friends. I've been Ryan Hartley, host of the Always Better Than Yesterday podcast here on YouTube. Always love.